YouTube? Oh, sorry.
You didn't clap.
I didn't clap.
You're like, hi there,
You know, hit me in the face, bro.
3, 2, 1. Hi there, YouTube. I'm Craig here again with Bill and Antonio, and we are the Social Vultures. And tonight we're going to talk about reality TV, a topic that we haven't really discussed before.
Never have.
But yeah, we might as well bring it up tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Talk about everything else.
Yep. Antonio, why don't you go first? What's your favorite?
I don't watch much reality TV show, but I have been watching WWE Breaking Ground. Kind of shows the wrestlers before they get to NXT, and it's like, wow, these guys are as hard as nails, working their butt off, and sometimes the people you think should be getting going forward, they'll get injured or do something they shouldn't do, or they don't listen properly, and out the door.
Yep.
You know, so I think it's very high maintenance what these guys got to do to go just get an NXT contract. Never mind getting to the main roster, but it's just shows you the emotion and the impact it has in people's life. And some people, that's all they got is be a wrestler because they got no other skills. You know, so I really like it. Breaking Ground, good show.
What about you, Bill?
I am shamelessly addicted to American Idol. And it always bugs me. There's been a few like musicians, like established musicians, who have put down the show saying that, oh, it's not like in the old days where you actually had to audition and play gigs and all this. And then it's like, well, you obviously have never seen the show. Because almost everybody that auditions on the show now are people who have been doing music since they were a kid and have been playing gigs and playing high school dances. And some of the guys on there, you know, a 25-year-old will be auditioning and he's been playing gigs for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And I don't see how American Idol is any different than how that worked, right? You're trying to perform to get somebody to notice you and notice your talent and propel you forward to get signed. It's the same thing.
Yep.
But American Idol, don't they every week? I don't watch it, so don't they every week? Aren't these same guys who go forward each week? Aren't they performing again every week, or like just sitting and voting? So
they are.
So like it's a one night thing. Oh, you're going to be musicians.
Yeah, it's not.
They are working their butts off
They
for
make
every
it
week.
sound like American Idol is literally like they pick somebody out of a crowd and say, "You get a contract." And
They
it's
got
not
like so
that.
many
It's
weeks
not
to
like
be perfect, basically.
The stuff these people have to go through,
Yeah.
the hoops they have to jump through to get to the end is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But I love watching the different styles competing against. Like, I think it's really interesting to see, like, you'll have a rock guy and a country singer and a soul singer and an R&B singer, you know, and somebody who's a singer-songwriter, and they're all competing against each other. Because usually you'd see, you know, everybody all rock or all country. So it's cool to see these people trying to compete with each other when they're different genres. But I really like it. And I think the past 3 years have been my favorite with the current judges, which are Jennifer Lopez, Keith Urban, and Harry Connick Jr. I think they're great because they've kind of lost that Simon Cowell, I'm here to criticize you thing.
Yeah.
And they're more about, like, we're actually here as coaches. And I like that a lot. It brings a much better feel to the show. And yeah, it's great. I really like it.
I don't really watch a lot of reality TV nowadays, but I remember back
for the record, most reality is junk. I'm glad
that you said that. I was trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have really sort of gone downhill, I'd say. But I remember watching maybe the first 2 or 3 seasons of Survivor back in the late 1990s, which I really liked. And there was one that came out, I believe it was only around for 1 season. It was produced by Mark Burnett, who did Survivor, and it was called Combat Missions. And the idea behind it is incredibly awesome. They take some of the top police SWAT operators in the United States, Special Forces troops, you had Navy SEALs, you had U.S. Army Airborne, you had Green Berets, you had Miami-Dade County SWAT, you had LAPD SWAT, and they basically did obstacle courses just like you would expect from boot camp. You know, some of the tests. It was incredible. Some of the tests involve like, you know, stripping weapons, reassembling weapons. I'm a big fan of like military fiction and military, and non-fiction as well. And Combat Missions, I would recommend if anybody could get a hold of it online, take a look. You would love it.
Sounds great.
Absolutely fantastic.
There's another reality show I watch, and now I am not remembering the name of it, but it's they have blacksmiths who do knives and blades.
Oh yes.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's different. It's not a continuing thing. It's not the same people continuing for weeks. Every episode is a self-contained competition. But the things these guys come up with, like, you've got 1 hour to take this block of metal and turn it into a polished, beautiful sculpted knife.
Yep.
And the work they do is just crazy.
Yep.
Like they're so talented. But it's a great show. The stuff they come up with is amazing.
I know that there was one in the UK, and I was watching it when I lived over there, so this would be the early 2000s. I want to say it was called Junkyard Wars.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah, and it was
You're right.
basically the same sort of idea in that they had access to like all
the
the
junk,
scrap
yeah.
and junk and 2x4s of wood and things like that. And it was like you have to create this particular machine to do a particular job.
Yeah.
And how you do it, like whatever you create, that's what you do. And I believe it was Junkyard Wars.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
I started watching it. I haven't watched for a while. The guy went around buying toy collections. I can't remember the name of that show.
Yeah.
And he found a Greatest American Hero doll that never was produced, but I think he had the prototype. And I think the guy was going to pay him like 10 grand or something ridiculous. Are you serious?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I can't remember what it was called, but I know the show.
Yeah, but like, wow, some of the collection this guy would find. And I'm like, wow, that was worth that much. He found some Ninja Turtle stuff, like from the TV show.
Yeah.
You think, holy crap, I see that stuff in the store, and it's worth $400, $500. Like some of the characters who are like one-offs, but they made the characters, and to find these guys now, it's like,
yeah, it's amazing.
That
actually reminds me that probably my favorite reality show, which didn't even occur to me at the beginning of this episode, is American Pickers. I love American Pickers because I've always been kind of an antique guy and an old stuff guy, and the two guys on it are so likable. Not like Canadian Pickers. The two guys on Canadian Pickers, oh my god. No offense, guys, but jeez.
How could you take offense to that?
You're giving Canada a bad name. But the two guys on American Pickers are great guys, and they go everywhere around the whole country, and the stuff they find, and a lot of the times they find toys that are amazing. Or they'll find, like, one time they found on a guy's property, they found an actual samurai sword. Like, from and not a samurai sword from, like, later when they were just an officer that carried them in war.
Yeah.
Like, they found ones from, like, certain dynasties. And it's like, oh my god.
Cool.
The stuff they find is incredible.
Hey, you know what? I like those shows because the knowledge these guys gotta have when they find this stuff, they know
and they're literally discovering history.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I love that.
Antiques,
really love that.
I don't mind Antiques Roadshow because some of the stuff they bring onto there, it's like one lady found, I think it was
it's the same sort of thing as American Pickers. It's just that Roadshow is so much drier.
Yeah, I know.
It's not as entertaining.
But again, like you say, some of the stuff, I think one lady found the Johnny Reb bottle of whiskey, and like, oh yeah, this is the real deal. Like, I don't care what's inside. The bottle, it's like $1,200. Like,
amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
And she goes, this has been sitting on my grandmother's, shelf in her, God rest her soul forever, and finally we cleaned her place out. I thought it was just junk.
I just watched an American Pickers where they actually went and they were told that the couple had some Star Wars stuff. They got there. Listen, buddy.
Fuck.
They got there and they have a shelf of life-size Yodas, and they're like, "What are these?" And they research them and find out that Lucasfilm hired this guy to make exact replicas to sell. And the ones that this couple had were the prototypes.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, wow. Oh, my lord.
And they contacted by phone the guy who made them, and he authenticated them over the phone.
That's cool.
And I don't remember. He only bought one because he couldn't afford to buy more.
Yeah.
And I can't. It was $12,000, $15,000 or something they paid for it.
Wow.
And I love those stories too. I love people that just. I know of one. I can't remember the name of the show, but they found very old 1920s, 1930s Hollywood movie posters.
Oh yes,
in an attic or
that happens all the time
as insulation or something.
And that's funny too, because ending on this note, a lady found the lion costume from The Wizard of Oz.
That's a famous story.
She didn't know what it was, and she took it to the guy. Look, goes this? I guess the tag or he rolled back, and this was the thing that Fred Lyle wore.
Yeah.
They brought it back to Universal or wherever. And put it on the guy, did the makeup, and this thing was sitting like in a junk
Stars
or
has
something.
the same sort of thing. It's that discovered treasure thing. Right?
Exactly. And what a chance you're going to find the lion costume. They clean it up. It's actually. But folks, as we're nice and cleaned up here now, that's another episode of Social Vultures in the books. So for the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man and Toto, we are the Social Vultures.
I thought he'd be the Scarecrow for sure.
Well, he didn't have a brain.
I know.
Anyways, and Dorothy, we are the Social Vultures.
There's no place like home.
Where's your ruby slippers? We'll see you next time.